This lecture is the second part of solving applications involving percent. We'll start by discussing discounts and sale price. The amount of discount is equal to the percent off times the original price. The sale price is then the original price minus the amount of discount. A discontinued washer-dryer combo is advertised on sale for 35% off the regular price of $1,200. Find the amount of discount and the sale price. Our amount of discount is equal to our percent off, written as a decimal since we're writing an equation, 0.35 times the original amount of $1,200. Multiplying those together, the amount of discount is $420. To find the sale price, we then take the original amount of $1,200, subtract the discount amount of $420, and get a final sale price of $780. A furniture store discounted a dining room table by 40%. The discounted price of the dining room table was $240. We want to determine the original price of the dining room table. The sale price is the original price, which is the unknown for us, minus the discount amount. We saw that the discount amount is the percent off times the original price. Since the original price is unknown, that's going to be our variable. The sale price is $240. The original price is unknown, we'll call it X. The discount amount is the percent off, which was 40%, times the original price, which was our unknown. We have this equation to solve. We'll start by combining like terms on the right side. 240 is equal to, remember that this is 1x. When we subtract, we'll get 0.60x. To solve for x, we divide by 0.60. The original price was $400. Next, we're going to talk about interest. Interest is the money charged for using other people's money. The money borrowed, loaned, or invested is called the principal amount, or simply principal. The interest rate is the percent used in computing the interest. We're going to talk about two different types of interest, simple interest and compound interest. When the interest is computed on the original principal only, it is called simple interest. The formula for simple interest is simple interest equals the principal times rate times time, or I equals PRT, where the rate is understood to be per year and the time is in years. If time is given in months, you need to convert it to years by dividing by 12. The total amount paid or received is equal to the principal amount plus the interest. Let's find the simple interest after 5 years on an $875 at an interest rate of 7%. Interest is equal to principal times rate times time. The principal amount is $875. The interest rate, written as a decimal, 0.07, times the number of years, which is 5. All we need to do is multiply that right side together. Simple interest is $306.25. Our next example says a student borrowed $1,500 for 9 months on her credit card at a simple interest rate of 20%. How much did she pay in interest? Simple interest is the principal times the rate times the time. The principal is $1,500 times an interest rate of 20%, again written as a decimal, times the time. You'll notice in this example, they gave us times in months. So we need to convert this to years. Since there are 12 months in a year, you convert it by taking the number of months and dividing it by 12. You can simplify this if you like to be 3/4. Multiplying the right side together, we see that this student ended up paying $225 in interest. The other type of interest we're going to discuss is called compound interest. Compound interest is computed not only on the principal, but also on the interest already earned in previous compounding periods. So you pay interest on the interest. Our compound interest formula says the total amount A in an account is given by A equals P times the quantity 1 plus R divided by N raised to the N times T power, where P is the principal, R is the interest rate written as a decimal, T is the length of time in years, and N is the number of times compounded per year. $3,000 is invested at 4% interest compounded semi-annually. Find the total amount after 6 years. I'm going to start by identifying our P, R, N, and T. The principal is $3,000. The interest rate is 4%, which we'll write as a decimal. N is the number of times we're compounding our interest per year. Semi-annually means that we're compounding twice per year. And then lastly, our T is the number of years, which is 6. We'll plug this into our formula. A equals P times 1 plus R divided by N raised to the N times T power. A equals 3,000 times 1 plus 0.04 divided by 2 raised to the 2 times 6 power. I think the hardest part of this is plugging it into your calculator. I recommend you do any type of simplifying that you can prior to plugging it into your calculator. If we divide 0.04 by 2, this gives us 0.02, which I can then add to this 1, giving us A equals 3,000 times 1.02. And then we can multiply the numbers in our exponent together and get 12. This is going to be a lot easier to plug into your calculator. To get the exponent, you're either going to have a caret key, something that looks like this on your calculator, or you might have a key that looks like y to the x. There's several variations. If you have trouble using your calculator, please contact me or go to any of the tutoring centers. Plugging this into our calculator, we get 3,804.725384. We're talking money, so we want to round to the nearest cent, which is the same as the hundredths. I'm going to need to round up. The total amount ends up being $3,807.73. In this example, $5,500 is invested at 6.25% compounded daily for 5 years. Find the total amount at the end of 5 years. Our principal amount is $5,500. Our interest rate written as a decimal is 0.0625. Since we are compounding daily, our N is going to be 365, since there's 365 days in a year. And then our time is 5 years. We plug that into our formula. A equals P times 1 plus R over N raised to the N times T power. A equals 5,500 times 1 plus 0.0625 divided by 365 raised to the 365 times 5 power. As in the previous example, I'd like to do some cleanup if I can. This time, however, when I divide these two numbers, I get a really long decimal. It's not nice like it was in the previous example. So I recommend you not trying to simplify this portion of our expression. We're just going to type it in our calculator as is. The exponent, however, can be easily simplified. I would multiply those two together. A equals 5,500 times 1 plus 0.0625 divided by 365 raised to the 1,825th power. It's really important when you're plugging this into your calculator that you include these parentheses when you're typing it in. Your calculator should give 7,517.407558. Since we're talking money, again, we want to round to the nearest cent. We're going to need to round up here. Our total amount is $7,517.41.